Bourbon Barkeep, my name's Curtis, and it is that time of the quarter again, a Booker's release, baby. This is one that I always am like, $100, then I taste it and I'm like, you son of a... This one is a cheers to neighbors, a tip of the cap to the neighbors that you actually enjoy. Jerry's batch. Jerry Dalton, the only Jim Beam master distiller that was not in the Beam family. Jerry moved in just right behind Booker and Fred and was like, hey, let's do something cool. Jerry was actually a chemist, which I feel like is a very risky neighbor to have, and definitely a risky neighbor to have right behind you. But apparently he was fun enough to sit there and be invited over to the Beam family at that point. So Booker retires. He's like, hey, do you want to do this thing? To Jerry, not to me, to Jerry. He was like, hey, do you want to do this thing? So Jerry Dalton's like, I think I can put my beakers down and just do whiskey. So he held down the fort until Fred was ready to become the master distiller. And here we are today, getting a bottle named after you. That's like nowadays having a rap song. You know, you made it into a lyric, Kendrick Lamar lyric. I wouldn't want to do a Drake one, but you know. So I don't know if Jerry had a thing for the number 1 or 11s, but ultimately this batch was pretty wild that they made up. So this is based off of 7 different production dates, based off of 9 different warehouses, and out of those 9 different warehouses, they took 11.1% from each of those warehouses. So pretty sure there's a 0.1 missing in there, but that's math. It's math. I'm not going to question them. The bottle's here. They obviously did something right. So ultimately what they were trying to do was showcase the microclimates across all of these warehouses. So I was like, okay, color me intrigued. Would I bought it anyways? Yes. But, you know, when you have a better story than the On the Pond where he's just moving a tree to get better shade, you're like, okay, I mean, let's do that, I guess. Now, this is coming in at 7 years, 4 months, and 21 days. So one of the older batches, not the oldest, but one of the older batches out of the last couple years, if you will, and 124.7 proof, one of the lower proofed batches. All of these have been pretty similar at this point. And when I say pretty similar, I feel like these have kind of been on a nice little run. Last 4, I have actually very much enjoyed. Beamhouse, Springfield, it is what it is. But you started cranking out that 03, 04 last year, and how they started out this year with this great chocolate bomb and vanilla bomb. I'm very intrigued to where we're going to go here. So I'm going to get this poured up, and let's see if it's actually worth $100 again. All right, let's get this guy nosed up, tasted. I will do a compare to the previous batch. I feel like these Booker's batches have been sitting on shelves. Maybe it's production. Maybe it's people growing tired of the $100 price tag. Fully understand it. If I didn't have a whiskey channel, I don't think I would have as many Booker's bottles as I do. But here we are today. Can they keep up the hot streak? We shall see. That's a good nose. That's a very sweet nose. A lot of vanilla. Almost like, it brings me into like almost like a buttercream frosting. A little toffee in there. This almost rich, overbaked caramel. A little toffee, a little butteriness. Brown sugars. Not getting a ton of peanut. Not in a bad way. Just something you kind of go in expecting. And I feel like you all want to hear, are we talking like Cody's Roadhouse peanut shells on the ground? Or are we talking like peanut butter? Let's see. I don't know. It's not that strong. I mean, it may be on the peanut butter scale, like this nice creaminess, just slight nuttiness, but there's not a salt to it. Those are the ones that I tend to gravitate towards, at least on the nose, if you will. Overall, smells very rich, a little apple in there, and I think that buttercream frosting just kind of throwing me for a loop. I'm here for it. This toasted sugar, like a caramelized sugar. Let's go on the palate and see. Ooh, man, that's good. Ooh, you feel that the whole way down. Good for you. Man, that's delightful. Nice vanilla. That oak really starting to build in there. Nice cinnamon. Not overly spicy, but she there. You feel it in the chest for sure. Coats the palate really well. Fairly oily. I mean, when you're talking $100 bottle, are you expecting this amazing mouthfeel? You would like to think so. Oiliness is there, but overall, I feel like it actually coats the tongue very well. There's like a blackberry in there, which I'm kind of digging right now. That's good. All right, sip 2. Let's see if else comes out. Sip 2, very good. I feel like the cinnamon, the spiciness actually came down. Still lingers, for sure. You know you're in for this 120 plus proof. But I did feel like the baking spices in terms of like this great nutmeg and I want to go allspice. But ultimately, definitely this nice nutmeg and blackberry jam starts to bring me into like this nice pie with that vanilla in there. On the finish, it is what you want by a bonfire. That is delightful, warming. It just brings you into your mother's bosom, and you are needing it tonight. As you start to acclimate to the spice, I mean, the proof is there. It's what you want it to be when you're talking about a Booker's. This one, I don't feel like is anything like what 1 and 2 were. So I'll be curious when we go head to head, which one comes out on top. But ultimately, this just great, just kind of blackberry pie, vanilla, maybe a little bit of apple in there. But man, you feel it in the chest and you're here for it. Some of these Bookers I feel like are just so hot, so cinnamon, not a long finish in the chest. It's just hot. This one seems to stick around with me, and you want it to sometimes. Now, let's get up on the pond, by the pond. Regardless, I loved it. Let's pour it up and see how it compares. Which one should you be buying if you've been waiting? Is it worth saving $10, $20 at this point for batch 02? All right, by the pond, I confirmed it. To recap, if you will, not a spotlight episode of 02. That's been done. This guy's coming in 126.5 versus 124.7. So a slight uptick on the proof, a little decrease on the age. 7 years, 1 month, 20 days. This one did very well. Thoroughly enjoyed this one. Let's see if I still agree. Yeah, still great caramel, nice fresh baked caramel, but man, that vanilla extract, this nice toasted sugar, really delightful. But boy, I would actually say the 03 kind of mutes, almost overshadows what 02 has, kind of with this great blackberry pie going on. A lot darker, a lot more brown sugar starting to come out. Where this one, which I knew what it was, this great creme brulee. This one, a little more peanut going on, a little more nuttiness. I don't steer away from it necessarily, but it's still not coming out on 03. I'm not upset at it. Yeah, enjoy it. Pretty surprised at what 03 is kind of doing to 02 with it just smells richer. This actually smells more expensive, if you will, than kind of the lightness of what 02 was bringing. Let's see what we got on the palate. Spice is equal. The brightness is way over here. There's a great just vanilla extract, toasted sugar, caramel, but that vanilla is just so good in what 02 has. Really enjoy it. That peanut, slightly here. I didn't feel like this was an overly nutty batch as well, personally. Very good. I'm going to bounce back. I probably shouldn't because these are so high proof, but I got to know. Batch 03 has this great fruitiness. It could be tonight, but man, you have the vanilla. It's definitely ramped up on 02, but this like blackberry jam is just building and I love it. Cinnamon seems to be equal. The spice seems to be equal. Mouthfeel seems to be equal, which is great. Did very well. I really liked 01. This stood right up to 01. This one, it seems just to be this year of if you want chocolate, you want it 01. If you want vanilla and this great toasted sugar, you want 02. If you want this great blackberry pie, because that is just the dominant flavor, 03 is here, and I am really enjoying it. I think the experience in terms of proof, mouthfeel, all seem to be very similar. Same amount, at least between these two, in terms of the cinnamon and the great baking spice. At least whatever I'm tasting tonight, I just think the nuttiness is ramped down on both of these batches. I don't seek out the Cody's Roadhouse peanut shell by any means. Both of these really enjoyable. If you want this like nice dark berry, here you go. The new batch is right up your alley. So let's get into some scoring so this doesn't run 30 minutes. We got our census categories. That's just what's in the glass. I don't care that it's $100. I don't care about the proof, no age, no nothing. What's in the glass? I'm pretty impressed. I'm kind of here for the blackberry tonight at least. I'm very curious how this opens up. I think Booker's is definitely one of those bottles, whether it's the proof or just profile. I definitely wouldn't judge it on the first crack, but as this starts to aerate, it just becomes better and better for most batches, unless you're Beamhouse. All right, enough cracking at Beamhouse. I do it every episode. I apologize. They tried really hard. It just wasn't it. That was the Cody's Roadhouse bottle. Anyways, 03, very good. Once again, when it comes to the tasting preference, hopefully I outlined between 01, 02, and 03, kind of what you're looking for. I'm really feeling the blackberry right now. I love it. It's not overly sweet. It's just this great richness that, especially when you're putting it up against something very vanilla-y, which I did really like, it's just, I enjoy the nose. I enjoy the richness on 03. Another banger. Good for you guys. I think I'm going to go 83. There's not been too many batches that I'm putting very close to fantastic. Most of these previous batches have been borderline fantastic, but just solidly great pours. Now at $100, there is a great experience here. I think that they're $85, $80 bottles. I don't think that these are just light years ahead of what most Elijah Craig barrel proof batches are bringing to the table. If I could save $10 and forego the wooden box, absolutely I would. But I can't, apparently. So at $100, I get my money's worth. I'm not paying above that ever. As soon as these go to 105, even with Whiskey Channel, I am out. So that being said, I got my money's worth. I'm just going to I'll go 61. I mean, you have the proof. It's a great pour. It's exactly what I'm looking for, fall, winter especially. So there you go. I wouldn't say punches far above, but it's still a buy. If you are a Booker's fan and you're going to buy it regardless, you at least have a good batch sitting on your shelf. And like Beamhouse. Like, subscribe. Thank you all. Let me know what you all think. Aside from the price, I understand it's high. I get it. But at least it's good.